So this whole time, I believe that sauerkraut was invented in Germany. That's actually not true. Sauerkraut was invented in China 2,000 years ago while they were building the Great Wall of China. So the Europeans back then took it and brought it to Europe, and they perfected it to the sauerkraut that we know today, and specifically the Germans. So that's where the sauerkraut invented. Good to know. Okay, so let's go over our equipments first. Make sure you got a very, very sharp knife. And we're gonna need about 2 to 3 large heads of cabbage for this recipe, a sterilized jar, some sea salt, and some caraway seeds. Now caraway seeds are optional, you don't have to use them if you don't like them, but I am. So you're going to need a sauerkraut pounder. Once you have that, then go ahead, slice the cabbages in half and the halves in another half, and go ahead and get those cores out because they're tough and we don't need to eat them. Once you have all that cut up, then go ahead and start slicing. Now what I'm slicing over here is about 1/4 inch thickness of the cabbage, so you can do whatever sizes that you prefer. Do whatever makes you happy, but the thinner the cabbage, the less time it's going to take to ferment. So once you have all that cut up, go ahead and throw it in a Cambro or a container, and then measure 2% of the total weight of the cabbage in salt, and then add the salt in there and start massaging it with your hands. Now don't be gentle with it, just go to town, crush that cabbage, get all your anger out. I'm just kidding. And like I said, I'm using a little bit of caraway seeds in there. You don't have to if you don't like them. And then once you have that done, continue crushing again. And there you go. That's what you're looking for. You want to make sure you get as much water as possible out of that cabbage. Once you have that done, then we're ready to start, putting it into the jar. So the main goal over here, guys, is to make sure that we fit all of our cabbage into the jar. But other than fitting the cabbage into the jar, we also want to make sure that we can have enough liquid from the cabbage to completely submerge the cabbage underneath it, because if the cabbage is not completely submerged from its liquid, then it's going to have a mold issue, and we don't want that. And go ahead and grab that sauerkraut pounder and start pounding the cabbage. Why am I keep saying pound? Sorry. So go ahead and push it down and make sure that you start seeing that liquid. Look at that liquid is coming up. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit of pounding again, but it's going to come out. So look at it right now. It's looking really good. We have all of the cabbage actually into the jar. It looked like a lot of cabbage, but it's actually not. Now go ahead and wipe the rim off. We'll make sure we don't have anything on the top. Then once you have wiped the rim off, go ahead and label your sauerkraut. That way you know when you started it and how long is it going to take you. That way you can keep track of it. It's very important. Go ahead and add, a weight on the top. In this case, I'm using a bag filled with water and salt solution. Now you can use whatever kind of weight that you have at home. Some people have river rocks. Some people have marble plates. They buy it on Amazon. So use whatever you can. And once you have that on the top, as you can see right now, everything is underneath the liquid. So that's what we want. The next step is to get a cheesecloth on the top with a rubber band, cover it just like that, so it's it's got enough room to breathe, and then put it in a dark place with ideal temperature right around 60 to 75 Fahrenheit. I'm gonna put it in the pantry and I'm gonna cover it just lightly like that. I have some chilies going on the other side, and look at that, 19 days later, look what we have. Now this can go a little bit longer. For some people, this may be done, but for some people, this may not. So, it all comes down to your, personal preference, like whatever you like it, how you like it, what makes you happy. So in this case, I'm impatient and I'm going to go ahead and, open the jar up and give this good old smelly sauerkraut a try, because I've been eyeballing it for the last 19 days, walking every day by the pantry, and, it's been having my name on it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some out on a bowl aside. And then what I'm going to do with the rest of the sauerkraut is I'm going to wrap the lid tightly on the top, and then it's going to go into the fridge. Now, being in the refrigerator, the sauerkraut will last for months, unless you let it sit there for months. I generally don't though. But I'm going to go ahead and add this with some whole grain mustard in a freshly baked hot dog bun that I just made, and a fresh sausage too. This is a bratwurst sausage. Go ahead and add all of that beautiful sauerkraut on the top. Now, I know me putting ketchup on that hot dog might offend a few people, but, this is all about, personal preference, guys. And, this is what I like. So look at that, how good that looks. And how can you have a beautiful hot dog like that without some fresh, cold beer? I'm not condoning drinking over here, but you know, this is just for the effects and the giggles of the video. So, you know, you can do whatever you want. Okay guys, sauerkraut done. It took about 19 days in total. It could go a little bit longer to ferment, but in my personal taste, I think this is okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in the fridge, make sure this is tight, and then that's it. It's that simple. Go around to the store, pick up a couple of cabbages, and make some sauerkraut. It's delicious. You can go on a Reuben sandwich, you can go on a hot dog, it's so many other ways. Go ahead and try and make some. It's very good for you. It's full of probiotics, at least that's what they say. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.